Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Manny here once again. Welcome to another WNBA Fanduel lineup advice video here at DFS Zone. Before I continue on, like always, guys, I appreciate you drop a like, and if you have not subscribed to the channel as of yet, please do so down below, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. This way you do not miss any of my new uploads. With that being said, today is Tuesday, July the 24th, 2018. We have a 4-game slate in the WNBA. Washington is at Connecticut, Seattle at Indiana, New York at Minnesota, Atlanta at LA. And before I go on with the slate, I apologize. This video is going to come out to you guys late. I had a ton of things I had to take care of this morning, and it ran longer than I expected. And I wasn't going to go without doing a video. If I sacrificed going to bed at 4 or 5 in the morning on Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday respectively, I kind of broke night. I figured, hey, you know what, I can at least stretch it today. So you're only gonna have a few hours, but I figured, hey, I get it out to you. I'm gonna evaluate everything, of course, and I will be back with the live stream tonight. So remember, we're gonna live stream today. I'm thinking 5:45, 5:50, and running it to about 6:40, 6:45. So I'm hoping for about 50 to a 1 hour live stream tonight. So be ready to get some information that may help you, as well as you have an opportunity to be able to speak with me and ask me anything that you would like to ask me, and I'll do the best I can to answer your questions. Before I go on with that, I just wanted a couple reminders. This is going to be the last video for WNBA until next Tuesday, July the 31st. The WNBA is going on the All-Star break right now. Don't forget, the All-Star game is on Saturday at 3:30. Definitely should be an entertaining game. And we'll be back with videos as well as live streams starting next Tuesday. Another thing I wanted to mention is also I did mention in the last live stream, I have a Facebook page for us so that we can get more together as a community. You can ask me questions there. We will put up individuals that have had have done really well in playing. If you want to share that with us, we can share that in there. I plan to start a Facebook group which will be more about interacting and discussing sports in general, not necessarily all DFS, but also everybody that is a sports fan and is a part of the DFS Zone community would love you to do that too. I will probably have that up and ready by Tuesday. Another thing I want to do is I also want to be able to maybe give back a little bit and be able to have some sort of like I'm figuring like a top 12 plays. I'll discuss it a little bit more later on. Whereas the longest you're a subscriber to the channel, you comment down below a specific thing like top 12 plays, I will put a 12 player pool list of players, and I will offer that and raffle it out to someone every single night. I'll do a drawing. I'll get my little guy here to come with a hat. We'll put all the names on a hat, and we will have to have at least 50 or more subscribers to be involved in that. And remember, I can definitely find out if you're a subscriber or not. Most importantly, I need you to be a subscriber. I need you to comment down below. I need you to have those post notifications on, and then most importantly also, I would like you to be a part of the Facebook page. So that means you would definitely I need you to follow and like the page as well. And as long as we do all that, then I'll be willing to do something like that. I think that's fair. I can never give like a 5-line or a 6-line like some people do. I'm not looking to sell lineups or nothing like that. I just want to build a community where we can always come together and discuss whatever slate we're talking about, and be able to be open with one another. I'll give you the best possible advice. I'll give you the best possible statistical data that I can find, and then you could take what you get out of that and do what you think is best for you. All right. Anyway, enough with that. Let's get to the slate. So we got Washington at Connecticut. We have your implied totals as of right now. They might be different by the time we do the live stream later. We have implied totals of 171 with Connecticut favored by 4 at home. The teams come in. Washington is 6th in the standings at 14-10. They're 6-5 on the road. They are 2-3 over the course of the last 5 games, and in the course of those 5 games, they have played 3 games on the road, and they're 1-2 on the road. Connecticut is coming in. They are 8th in the standings at 13-12, so they're barely making the playoffs at the moment, battling for their lives. They are 3-2. They're 8-5 at home. Sorry about that. 6-4 at home, and their last 5 games, they're 3-2 with a 1-2 record during the course of those games at home. Connecticut comes in 8th and 3rd in scoring at 85.4 points per game. They are 4th in field goal percentage at 45%, 3rd fifth in three-point percentage at 35.3, second in rebounding 37 per game, seventh in assists at 19 per game. We're going to skip over steals and blocks because I noticed that most of the teams are really, really close in that aspect of the game statistically. Only difference are the weaker teams in the bottom like Indiana and stuff like that, probably the poor teams, and you should be able to at least know by now which are the poor teams. So we're going to definitely just minimize that so we can, as we go forward, as we move on forward, the videos become a little bit more shorter. Points per game, percentage points, excuse me, from two, they're fifth in the league at 59%. Percentage points from three, they're also fifth at 26.1%. Points per game given up to guards, they're still second in the league at 28.8 points per game given up to guards, and they're 11th in points per game given up to forwards at 51.5. Washington is fourth in scoring at 84.8 points per game, pretty much 85 points per game. They are seventh in field goal percentage at 44.3%, second in three-point shooting at 35.6%, eighth in rebounding at 32.8 rebounds per game, and they're 11th in assists at 17.2 assists per game. Okay. Percentage points from two, they're 11th at 51.7%. Percentage points from three, they are third in the league at 29%, shooting from three. Points per game given up to guards, they are fifth at 32.4 points per game, and they are ninth in points per game given up to forwards at 50.2 points per game. When we look at the game itself, we have here Jewel Lloyd. I'm gonna basically try to go over the girls while I'm on a Fantasy Cruncher. Jewel Lloyd, she's right here, as you can see, top in the top choice of the day today. Jewel Lloyd. Now, as you can see here, these are the girls that I'm basically narrowed it down to. There are 73 players in this 4-game slate today, and I've narrowed down my pool to 29 players. And by later tonight, I'll be able to. Later this evening, I'll be able to narrow that down a little bit further and try to give you the best possible plays. And of course, I don't know it all. There's going to be some of you that are going to always share some good possible values, and we'll discuss it as we go during the course of the actual stream later on. So Jewel Lloyd is in play. She's facing the worst defending team against guards, as we all know, in Indiana, giving up almost 40 points per game. But Jewel Lloyd has had her moments. She didn't have a good game in the last game out against Atlanta, but again, Atlanta is just playing really, really good basketball right now. But she did have two 50-point games. As you can see here, she met value here at 40. So 3 out of the last 4 games she has met value. The thing is that the one thing that's important to note here is that she's at 8K, you need 40, but she can get you 50. So there is a little bit of value there in knowing that she is capable of getting you 50 plus. So I would say Jewel Lloyd is in play. We go next on the line here. I'm not on Tiffany Hayes today. I think it's a tough matchup for her. Actually, sorry, I'm in the wrong thing. Washington, Connecticut. Christy Tolliver. Christy Tolliver, she's had 2 good games in a row now. She really has, and she's playing better. And the thing about Christy Tolliver, she gets up for certain games. So today she might get up for this one. She did get up for the last 2 against New York and Dallas, especially Dallas game. I had mentioned that she probably would get up for that game, knowing that she's got to go up against Diggins Smith, and she's done that. And as you can see here, she did it against Seattle here. She got a 35 spot here against Connecticut the last time. So she gets up for games. So this may be a game that she is definitely capable of getting you 30. The thing is that she doesn't have a whole lot of upside. At 6K, she could probably get you maybe 35 the most. As you can see here, she got 140 plus against Connecticut already. So she's had 2 excellent games against Connecticut. I think she's in play. I just feel that the price, as far as upside, is not a whole lot of upside with Christy Tolliver. But then again, in a game like today, when I crunch everything down later on, I'll be able to know more or less if she is really, really a great play for me to advise you guys about. Jasmine Thomas in play as well, 6,100. She hasn't had great games against Washington, but she's been playing well. 6K, you need about 30. She's averaging 24, and she's been doing 24 better in 4 out of the last 5 games. And against Washington, a 20 spot in 25 minutes, a 25 in 24 minutes, that's 1 fantasy point per minute, and a 34 in 28 minutes. Crushed vest. So she has had 2 games where she's had 1 fantasy point per minute. And she doesn't have tremendous upside either. She's just like Christy. 30 to 35 is pretty much around her average range that she could probably get to. Maybe once in a while she could get you 38 to 40. Ariel Atkins is another one that's in play. She's probably in better position than the other 2 girls I just mentioned, simply because she could get you 40, and she's already averaging 20 somewhat already, similar to the other girls. And she's playing about the same minutes, maybe even slightly a little less. She has that 43 here, so she has possibility of getting you 35 to 40 at 53. That, you know, getting almost 8x and you're paying 5x is not too bad. All right, so you definitely can consider her. Natasha Cloud would be someone I would probably consider too. We'll have to wait and see. I'll probably will get some information on her and let you know if Natasha Cloud is in play. I think if she is, I really would like her as well today. Going down to Connecticut, I'm not unban him. Strickland had a monster game. We had some people on the live stream speak about Strickland, even asked me, and I bypassed her for another player. But I actually threw her in at the last moment in one of my lineups, and she put up a 44 spot. She really had a big game. I don't know if she's going to be able to repeat that again. Washington is not that bad in the backcourt, so I don't foresee it, but I'm going to take a look more further on the field goal percentage, how they're defending against shots and three-pointers, where she's a specialist at three. We'll see how well Washington is defending three-point shooters. I'll look into that, and I'll have more information on her later. But she's someone to consider. At 3,800, you need about 18. Other than that, I'm not on anybody else. Clarendon, Ruffin Pratt may be a possibility. She's $100 cheaper, but I think Strickland obviously is showing that she has a better upside at the moment, so maybe Strickland will be a better play. We go to the forwards. Elena Delle Donne is definitely in play. I think she's the best play out of the big girls here in this particular game. In the slate, she's probably going to be, I would say, 30 to 40% owned, because I mean, if you look at the slate, you know, your top choices real quickly. Your top choices are going to be Stewart, Fowles, Delle Donne, and Charles, and Candace Parker. I think Maya Moore and Parker are definitely in a prime position because they're playing teams that are, you know, they should be able to do well against. Tina Charles is the only thing New York has. Delle Donne here in a good spot, like I said. Brianna Stewart is playing against Indiana. She may be, I don't think she's going to be chalky. I think she's going to be someone maybe is going to be low owned, but there's that blowout possibility. That's the only scary part. So if you're willing to take a chance on her and hope that Indiana puts out another great game, then Brianna Stewart is definitely in play. You know, I'm getting myself out of tune here. Let's go back to the game. So again, when it goes to the forwards, I don't know. You know, Delle Donne is definitely in play. I'm not too sure about Alyssa Thomas and Shanae Agumike. They have been, to me, a little bit shaky as of late, but I will know a little bit more later. Latoya Sanders, I definitely like here. She needs 30, and she's averaging 24, and she's had 31s twice. What I would like to, I like her here, but I would love to see her get closer to this 40 range, where she has the potential to be at 40. So if she can get you 40, you know, that's 2x more. That'll be great. Jonquel Jones, possibly a play here. 5,700. I know she played well in the last game. 24 and 24, 21 and 19, 22 and 32. The last three games have been very, very productive. So Jonquel Jones may be someone to consider as well. All right. Someone to consider. Sorry about that. So Jonquel Jones. Down here in the bottom half of this tier, the tier here, I'm not on anybody else. Maybe you can consider Miss Tiana Hawkins, but I'm not too sure about that. We'll go to the Seattle game. Seattle at Indiana. This one is implied totals 164, with Seattle favored by 11. Seattle's coming in 18-7. They're 8-3 on the road. 8-3 on the road. Hold on one second, guys. I'm in the middle of a video. Sorry about that. The wifey making a call, so I had to definitely stop there and let her know that I was doing a video. Okay, so where I was at. So yeah, Seattle 18-7, 8-3 on the road, and they're 3-2 over the course of the last 5 games. I apologize, and you know, so they're pretty much over 500. Not playing really superior ball at the moment. They just finished losing a good game against Atlanta. Indiana is coming in. They are dead last in the league. They're 3-22, 1-11 you know, at home this year. They come in with totals of last in scoring at 75.2 points per game. They are 11th in pace at 79 possessions per game. Last in field goal percentage at 41%. 10th in three-point shooting at 32.2. Rebounds, they're 10th at 32.2. And in assists, they are last at 15.6 assists per game. Percentage points from 2, they are 4th. 60.6% of their scores are from 2-point range, and percentage points from 3, they're 8th at 22%. Points per game given up to guards, they're dead last at 39.4 points per game, and points per game given up to forwards, they have improved. They're 9th at Actually, excuse me, they have come down 3 positions from 6th over a week and a half ago to 9th at 50.2 points per game. On this other side of the ball, Seattle is 2nd in the league in scoring at 86.8 points per game. They're 7th in pace at 80 possessions per game, pretty much even between the teams. And, look at the difference. Pace 11th for Indiana and 7th for Seattle, and they're basically 1 possession difference. So that's why pace is not a big factor unless you are one of the weaker, one of the slower pace teams that like to keep the game at a half court, like LA, Minnesota, New York, and so on and so forth. Field goal percentage, they're first at 46.6%. They're third. They're 4th in 3-point shooting at 35.4%. They're 6th in rebounding at 35 rebounds per game. They're first in assists at 20.7 assists per game. Percentage points from 2, they're 10th in the league at 53.6%, and at percentage points from 3, they're first at 29.2%, pretty much 29% from 3. Most of their possessions are from 3. Points per game given up to guards, they're 3rd in the league, giving up 30.1 points per game, and points per game given up to forwards of 48.2 points per game. All right. We go over to the game. To Seattle, Indiana. I'm not in favor of a whole lot here because obviously we know Indiana is a very bad game, very bad team. But Jewel Lloyd and Sue Bird obviously are in play. I would say probably fade Lloyd and play maybe Sue Bird just for the savings. I think Sue Bird will still do excellent in this game over Jewel Lloyd, but not to say Jewel Lloyd will not get you 40, but you need 40 to get value. And she definitely can get you 45 plus, but she hasn't been that consistent. Sue Bird definitely has at 6,900. You need pretty much 35 from her. You figure 34, and she's had those moments. Yeah, 21 spot only against Atlanta, but 29, 31, 27, 28. I look at more where she stands. She's at 25, pretty much 24.5 points per game, fantasy points per game, and she's been doing that once, twice, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the last 6 or 7 games. So she could be someone you could definitely consider here in this matchup. The only thing about this game is just the blowout scenario. I'd be honest with you, I'm not on anybody else here other than maybe Pondexter again for Indiana. I've played her several times over the last 3 or 4 games that she has played, and she's come through at least 2 out of the 3. So I would say, again, I'll get all this on paper. I'll figure this all out, and by later on for the live stream, I'll let you know if she's definitely a decent play here or not today. But I say that she's definitely someone to consider. Other than anybody else here, maybe Victoria Vivians because of the possible upside that she can get you 30 plus, and she's averaging 15, and at 47 you need 20. You need about 23, 24, and I think that she can definitely get you 30 plus. Other than that, I am not on anybody else. Forward, same thing here. Very quickly, Brianna Stewart is in play. It's just we don't know. I don't think she's going to be highly owned because of the blowout scenario here, but she is definitely someone in play. I don't see anybody in Indiana being able to stop her. It's just a matter of can Indiana's backcourt or someone in the front court keep this game respectable or close enough so that Brianna can be on the court longer. Natasha Howard, I'm not on her. Not on Candace Supreme. Maybe Natalie Achanwa, 6,000, you need 30. She had a great game the other day. We had this discussion on the live stream. Some people asked if Achanwa was a good play. I said that she would be okay, and she ended up having a great game. 35 and 37 in the last 2 games, so she has been playing lights out. Two good front court teams that she played against. She played against Candace Parker here. Granted, no Nneka Ogwumike, and over here she dealt with Miss Asia Wilson. So a nice game for Natalie. I think she's in play. She's going to need to play well as Candace today to keep this game respectable. Alicia Clark, I'm not on. I'm not on anybody else here, guys. I really am not. I'm being totally honest with you. Let's move on to the next game. I will know more later on. Like I said, I had so much to do today, and I am definitely pressed in reviewing the actual slate. But I wanted to get a video out to you guys and at least give you an idea of where we're heading. All right, we go now to what is this? Minnesota, New York. Implied totals. We have 159.5 with Minnesota favorite at home by 11. Is that what I have? I'd be totally honest with you. I don't know for sure if that's. I think they're favorite by 11. Okay, if there's any change in that, I'll definitely let you know. I think that's a bit high. New York at Minnesota. All right, so again, we're coming in. New York is coming in 7-17. They're 3-8 on the road, and in the last 5 games, they're 2-3. During the course of those 5 games, they've played 3 games on the road, and they're 1-2 on the road, so they have a losing record throughout the last 5 games. These teams have played twice this year. Minnesota won both games, so something to point out. And I forgot to mention that Seattle and Indiana played once this season, and Seattle won that game by 9, actually. So it was actually a respectable game. But Minnesota won both of these games. Minnesota comes in 5th in the standings at 14-10, and they're 7-5 at home. All right, they come in 10th in the league in scoring at 79.2 points per game. They're 10th in pace at 79 possessions per game. 6th in field goal percentage at 44.6%. 6th in three-point shooting at 35.2%. They're 5th in rebounding at 36%. 36 rebounds per game. Percentage points from 2, they're 3rd at 61.5. Percentage points from 3, they're 10th in the league at 20.7%. Points per game given up to guards. Defensively, they're 8th at 33.4 points per game, and they're 1st in points per game given up to forwards at 42.5 points per game. On the other side of the ball, New York, 11th in scoring at 78.7 points per game, 9th in pace at 79.3 possessions per game, 10th in field goal percentage at 43.3%, 9th in three-point shooting at 32.5%, and they're 9th in rebounding at 32.5, and 8th in assists with 16.8 assists per game. Percentage points from 2, they're 7th at 57.7%, and percentage points from 3, they're 6th at 25.9%, pretty much 26% from three-point possessions. Points per game given up to guards, they're 9th at 34.1 points per game, and they're 7th in points per game given up to forwards at 48.1 points per game. All right. When we look at this game here, the matchups is plain and simple. Minnesota's front court versus New York's front court. Minnesota has the edge. Okay. Minnesota's backcourt with New York's backcourt. New York has a lot of guards, so some of these guards are definitely look like good plays today against Minnesota. But Minnesota's backcourt has not been playing that bad. I mean, Augustus and Danielle Robinson have been playing a lot better. So it's not that easy. It's not like a cakewalk here. But I think for New York to be in this game, their backcourt is going to have to play well. Their backcourt is going to have to play well. So Brittany Boyd and Bria Hartley are definitely in play. I like Hartley more than Boyd, but I will let you know more a little bit later who will probably be the better play. But in this matchup, if you're targeting this game, so Brittany Boyd and Bria Hartley are definitely in play. Boyd is at 6,200. You need 30, pretty much, or 31, and she's been up and down, you know. But she's capable of getting you 30, and she has 40-point upside, so she could get you 8x on a good night. All right, but she did that against Chicago. Minnesota, you know, coming in, they're 8th. So, I mean, they are in the bottom tier, so she has a shot. Miss Hartley, 5,000. You need 25. And, you know, she's in every possible statistical category for New York. She's consistent with 5 to as much as 8 or 9 points a game, and she gets involved in assists, as you can see, rebounds. Just need to see more points from her. But 25 is what we're looking for. She's averaging 18. So, you know, 18 here, 2, 3 out of her last 4 or 3 of her last 5. I mean, she's going to get a little bit of time. I expect her to get 20 to 25 minutes or better. I think she's definitely a decent play here today. So definitely someone to consider. But I'll look into it further to see how Minnesota is defending against threes, because New York is a better three-point shooting team than Minnesota. You know, at least as of late. Okay. Simone Augustus in play, 4,600. You pretty much need 24 from her. 23, 24. And she's at 17, and she's got 23, 21 in the last 2 games. Same thing as Hartley, you know, playing in that same vicinity. The only problem with these girls is not a tremendous upside. You know, she's capable. As you can see here, she got a 34 spot here. Against New York, let's take a look. Against New York, she didn't play this game here. And in this game here, she put a 21 spot in 26 minutes. So she's like, you know, averages about 20, you know, 18, 19, 20 around there. So you could consider her. For today, I kind of like Hartley and Boyd a little bit more. I'm not on Whalen. Kia Nurse could be someone to watch out for today. All right, Sugar Rogers as well, 3,900. Sugar Rogers, you only really need 19 from her, and from Kia Nurse you need 20. And let's see, Nurse. I'm doing this on the fly here, guys. Nurse 13, 15, 32. Yeah, she, you know, I don't know. You see, it's just it's so tough with New York. I say right now, stick with Hartley and Boyd, because they're going to get the time on the floor. You know, and Danielle Robinson is not a bad play here for Minnesota at 3,900. Let's get to the big girls. We got Fowles. Fowles has been playing really bad lately. 8,500, but you know she's a good GPP play because she has tremendous upside. She can get you 50 plus. She's got a 58 here, but 13 here, a 30 here, 31 here, 29 here. Like 3 out of her last 6 games, she has not hit nowhere near value. You know, terrible games. This one here, she was just not only in foul trouble, but she just didn't shoot the ball well either. Field goal percentage was bad. So I mean, she is definitely someone to consider here. I mean, New York, I mean, how are they going to start? They got to deal with Fowles, and they got to deal with Moore and Brunson. So this is why I said the front court, the game is battle of the trenches is one right here. So it's all a matter of who we go with. Do we go with Fowles? Do we go with Moore? Or we go with Brunson? I think we go with Maya Moore. She's playing much better than she has been. She's back to above average. She is pretty consistent. You can at least, you know, consider her for 35, maybe as much as 38. And she's got 40-point upside, you know. It will get you only about 5x, you know, just it will get you 9x if she gets to 45. So, you know, just a little bit of extra value. But she's a solid play because she's playing against a team that she can definitely beat up on. And let's take a quick look. How does she do against New York real quick? New York, over here, she threw 35. She did put up 36 pretty much in 31 minutes in game 1, game 2, 39 and 32. Pretty steady. You know, so she's definitely someone to definitely consider today. Rebecca Brunson's another one at 5,800. Definitely, I like her. Then I like her or prefer her more than I would consider any of the New York front court players. For New York, it's just Tina Charles. If you want Tina Charles, this is not a bad game to play her in. You know, let's take a look real quickly on what she did against Minnesota. Last time out, 17 in 30 minutes. The first time out, 34 in 30 minutes. So it's like Russian roulette. You don't know. Hopefully she'll get you 30, 35. I don't think she can get you 40. I think the best bet and more safe bet will be Maya Moore, and possibly if you wanted to go for that GPP long shot, then you could hope for Fowles to have a great game here. But then again, you never know. Minnesota could pull away in this game, and it can be a blowout situation, and then you find yourself with Maya Moore and Sylvia Fowles sitting down. So that's the only drawback about this is so scary about. All right, but that's where I'm at right here. You know, as far as the first look. Last game, Atlanta versus LA, the most entertaining game of the night. As we got number 2 versus number 3 after Atlanta just finished playing against number 1. So we're gonna see if Atlanta can keep the momentum going and go into LA and just shock the spark. All right. So Atlanta at so let's look at these numbers here. Atlanta's coming in with a 7-game win streak. In the last 5 games, they're 5-0, 15-9 overall record, and they're 6-6 on the road. And during the course of those 5 games that they have recently played, they have played 2 games on the road, and they won both of those games, of course, with the 7-game win streak. LA is coming in 3rd in the standings, 15-10 and 8-5 at home. These teams have played each other one time before, and LA won that game. So they're up 1-0. They won the game 72-64. It was a fairly decent game. Both of these teams like to play the half-court game because obviously of their big front court players. We hope that Nneka Ogwumike is back today for LA because Candace Parker has been really, you know, she's been really taking on the load. But not only that, Gentel Lavender has been fantastic in place of Ogwumike standing. I mean, she's been fantastic. So So LA has been playing well even with Ogwumike out, so amazingly enough. But here we are. I'm not on Hayes. I'm coming straight out. Tiffany Hayes, a little too pricey, tough matchup for her. Chelsea Gray, kind of like her a little bit better here. 7,000, you need 35. I don't know if she's going to get you 35, but I think she could get you 30. She could be a safe 30, 34 here, 35 here, and, you know, 28, 27. Yeah, I would say 35. 30 to 30 is a safe bet for Chelsea Gray here. All right, and actually, let me take a look and see real quickly what she did the first time. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really choppy. Atlanta, yeah, she got 22 in 32 minutes, so Atlanta definitely did well against her up front. Brittany Sykes, definitely someone to consider, guys. 5,500. She's 2,000 cheaper than Hayes and 1,500 cheaper than Miss Gray. She needs to get some more minutes, but when she's in there, she's getting 1 fantasy point per minute. 13, 19, 14, 18, 16, and 15. That's one. There goes another one. There goes another one. 27 and 20. 3 out of the last 5 games, she has hit 1 fantasy point per minute, but she's only getting 15 to 20 minutes. So, I mean, that's the only drawback. It's a little pricey. I'll take that back. She's definitely not a bad play in this matchup, but because you can fade Hayes and save on the 2,000. But my only concern is just not enough minutes. Renee Montgomery, pretty much the same thing. Not a bad situation here. If they clamp up on defensively on Hayes, then you can look for Montgomery. Montgomery is getting a little bit more minutes. Okay, a little bit more minutes than Sykes. So maybe she'd be with someone to consider, but these numbers are just all over the place. She does have 40-point upside. So GPP, you know, that's a definite play there that you can jump on. 40-point here and 40-point here. She's had 2 over the last 6 games. Miss Bentley has been pretty solid too for Atlanta. She's starting to, you know, get involved in the offense. She's been playing and she's been getting some more minutes. Here, 19 and 23 over the last 2 games. Only got 9 points in the last game, fantasy points, but had 19 and 20 here. She did have a 20 spot here in 28 minutes. I mean, you know, this is another team like New York. They just got a lot of guards and they rotate them and play them so much that you just don't know who to really go for. But I personally feel if you're going to go with anybody, you got to go with Hayes at that price because she's going to get the brunt of the work. But if you want to go cheap and take just a stab at one of these girls, then Sykes or Montgomery would not be, or even Bentley would not be a bad play at all if they can get 20 minutes or better. All right. Down here, I kind of like Essence Carson. We don't know what Elena Beard is at, but Elena Beard is not an offensive threat. She's more of a good defensive player, but she can definitely get some points for you. If Essence Carson is playing today and Miss Beard is not in, then I definitely will consider Essence Carson as one of those good value plays. Odyssey Sims had a great game the last game out, but I'm not buying into that. I will have to see her do more than that to consider her. I'm not on anybody else here. We go right to the forwards. Candace Parker definitely in play. We don't know what's the deal with Agumake. We'll find out what's going on maybe by the time the live stream comes on. Either myself or someone, one of you guys may have heard any news on Nneka Agumake. But if she's playing, obviously she is someone you can consider. The only thing is she's coming back from illness, so we don't know how she's feeling as far as you know, physically. So Candace Parker is definitely the best play here. And then when you look into Atlanta, obviously Atlanta is very strong underneath. Angel McCoughtry, Jessica Breland, and Elizabeth Williams, they're all in play. It's just a matter of who is going to be the one that's going to get off here. 7,800. They're all still at the same price as the last game they played. Elizabeth Williams had one of the better games out of the 3. She probably had the best game. And in this matchup here, Elizabeth Williams, man, she's a blocker, she's a rebounder, she could score underneath the post. I mean, she might not be a bad play at 6,500 here over paying $7,800, $1,300 more for Angel. But I say all these girls are in play. Like I said, I am going to do some research. I'm going to crunch down the numbers, and by later on today for the live stream, I will give you guys what I think are the best possible plays, okay? And whatever value plays are available to us for today's slate. Gentel Lavender in play. I mean, 3,700. They haven't upped her price. If Miss Ogumake is out, you can pencil her in. You know, she's probably going to be highly owned. But, you know, again, there's nothing wrong with having 1 or 2 players or even 3 players highly owned in a GPP. You know, at least you have a shot. And if they crash and burn, that means that you still have a shot because you could still surpass a number of players with your other position players that you have that may be of value, who might have a great game. All right, so 34, 33, and 34 and 33 over the course of the 2 games that she has come in and spelled relief for Miss Agumake. So, you know, Gentel Lavender is in play. I think everybody's going to know that tonight. Other than that, I mean, you know, if game gets out of hand or something, Maria Avdiva might be in play. Monique Billings is going to probably get a few minutes. There might be some possible value plays there for these guys. We'll see. Again, I'm going to go over everything, guys. I apologize. The video's coming to you late. I apologize. It's a little choppy. It's not the way I normally do things. But when you're pressed for time and you still want to go out and give your audience some information, I'd rather give you something than nothing at all. This way you have something to look at and get yourself prepared for later on. Hopefully there's enough information here that you may want to make your decisions on. If not, please come down later on, live stream later today. And I would say, I figure 5:45, 5:50, somewhere around that time, I'm going to come in. I'm going to crunch these numbers down. I'm going to find out. I'm going to get to the nitty gritty. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know more about how the teams have played over the last 3 or 4 games, what matchups look good as far as field goal percentage, 3-point shooting, points, you name it. I'm going to crunch those all down, and we'll come back and talk about it later. All right, guys, drop a like on the video. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe down below. Make sure you put on those notifications. This way, when I come on a live stream later on, you'll get that notification right away, and you'll be able to join us in the live stream to discuss today's slate. All right, guys, have a blessed day. I'll see you guys later on. Your boy Manny is out.